Step 1, remove this air box. Okay, so that's my jack and my 2x4 underneath the oil pan. So, because once you remove the motor mount, we gotta brace the engine. So like I said, we already moved these 2 screws, which you see is gone. Just these 2 right here, and they're all 15s. So I removed them 2, 1, 2. Now you remove these 3. Remove these 3. Once again, they're 15s. All these motor mount screws are 15s. So once you remove these, oh yeah, this guy right here, don't forget about this guy. This is 15 also. Of course, you can be doing this with a ratchet, but I like to get straight to the point on some of my videos, especially I forgot to film in the beginning. So I'm like, let me still help you guys out. Boom, shake, rattle, and move. Now you remove the motor mount, put that on the ground, sit that down just how it was in the car so you don't get confused. Now, we also have to move this bracket, and you have to unscrew this bolt and this bolt right here. They also have one at the bottom. Let me see if I can see it. You can't really, trying to see, can't really see it that much, but there's one bolt at the bottom, and you will be able to move this bracket. So these have 3 15mm bolts. You move this bracket, then after that you have to, just the tensioner right here. See, I got a special star bolt. It's got a special star bolt to remove, but that's the belt tensioner. You have to move it to the right, so you go tighten up, you go clockwise to move the tensioner to remove the belt. And I don't have a star tool, so I use a, what is this? I use a, let me see if it's probably gonna be blurred, but it's a 7/16. I removed 7/16, but if you look, I have the star pattern. That's like a 12 point that removed that bolt. So once you go clockwise on that bolt, you will be able to at least take the belt loose. But the belt is wrapped around there, and after you move this last mount, you will have to press on this tensioner going clockwise to remove the belt from the top part of it and the bottom part of it. Because the belt's still gonna be stuck on there after you at least get the belt loose. You're gonna be trying to get the belt in between the crank and this tensioner, which is the big wheel at the bottom and tensioner. So you're gonna have to move this tensioner to be able to get the rest of the belt. So if you got the belt loose and like, man, I still can't get it loose, well, you got to move the tensioner. Then after that, you'll be able to remove the belt and do everything in reverse, and you'll have your belt back on. So the belt is back on. I'm going to put my motor mount back in place. You will not move the jack underneath the engine until you tighten this motor mount all the way up. Please don't move the jack and you ain't finished tightening this motor mount up, because the engine is gonna drop like a hot dot. You understand? All right. So you see, I got all my bolts back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them are still loose though, so I can able to hand tighten all these bolts, because you don't want to strip out none of these bolts. I will hand tighten all of them so you can start all of them. Once you start all of them, tighten them as much as you can at first with your hand, and then you come back and tighten all the way up. You know, you leave it loose because you gotta move it along, move it around to make all the bolts fit. Always start any bolt with your hand first so you don't strip it. As you see, I got all my bolts tightened up. Now you can move that jack if you want, but me, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna wait till I finish the whole job, like putting this air box back on, then I'm gonna move the jack. But it's up to you. Volume 2. There you go, box back on. Now I can remove my jack and start this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Drop that thing. There goes my block. I had my block. You want to put the block on the jack because you don't want this to poke a hole in your air pan. So make sure you put that block on the jack. And I just used to get the belt off for the tensioner. You know, take a special tool, an inverted Turk star, whatever. But I use a, what this is again? I use a 7/16. Now this is 1/4 inch small, so you ain't gonna get that much strength on it. So what I did is I made me a cheater tool and put the ratchet on there, so I was able to put more torque on it and then the tensioner back. Just showing y'all my little tricks in case y'all get your little 1/4 wrench and be like, man, I can't do it, but I cheated with my cheater. You understand? So the belt's on. Let's see if this baby's gonna start. Sounds good.